It's day 2, week 1. Hopefully you've gotten some rest from your workout yesterday or the day before if you needed a little bit of time. If you make it past day 1, everything else after that is easy. It means you started and now we're gonna keep you guys going. Day 2 is going to be another full body workout, but instead of the back muscles, we're now going to focus on the chest muscles. Yesterday we did a bend and I used a water bottle to do the bend with. Today I'm going to do it with a stick, which is going to be signifying the dumbbell or barbell that you may be using at a later time. It's just to show you how the movement looks a little bit different if you have a longer object in front of you. Other than that, grab a bottle of water. Make sure you take a look at the annotations of time, rest, reps, sets, all that stuff. That's going to come up in a minute and we're ready to go again. So for our warm-up right now, we're going to do a side-to-side hip swing, and you need to have your, don't mind the ruckus behind us, by the way. Part of being in the AnywhereBody means that you film anywhere, and we have some friends that are hanging out behind us right now having a really good time. So for us right now, we're going to put our feet in front of us. Make sure that they're not too far out this way, not too close here, in the middle, hands behind you propping you up, abs are in, and then you're going to drop your legs down from this side, back to center, down to this side. Make sure that you have enough room to do so. People generally start like this and then they end up banging into their other leg. But here, down, up, down. And then as you start to get a little bit looser, like you can see I'm a little stiff in the hips right now, so it's not moving very well. But as I get to rep 6, 7, 8, it's going to start moving a little bit better, and then once you start to get a little bit of movement in the hip, you can start picking up the pace a little bit. Try to keep your hips on the ground as much as possible and move more from your legs than your hips. Next warm-up is a stationary deep lunge. It's similar to your exercises, but what makes it a warm-up is that we're not going to do a whole lot of them and that we're going to do them super slow. They're just to open up your hip. So you start from a square position here, nice and tall, abs are in, and then you split your stance. So for me, this towel is a good corner here, corner there, squared, meaning that my hips are facing forward, and then nice and tall. And I've got this that I can use to help me with balance if I'm going slow and I'm feeling some tightness and it's not moving very well. So we're gonna come down, nice stretch up through the heel, stay in the same position, nice and slow, up through the heel. Remember to keep that knee to the outside, abs are nice and tall. Next movement, we're going to do some shoulder opening because we are going to be working on our chest. So this is a classic move that everyone does in the gym, but you can do it a little bit better than everybody does it by not swinging your arms wildly and starting nice and slow and going one at a time. You're going to feel where you don't have, like for me, for example, here, I get stuck a little bit. So you can spend some time gently moving through circles and opening up your arms, because if you've been spending all day like this in front of a computer and the first time you open up your arms, you do it under a weight or under a load, it's going to be a kind of a shock to your system. So you're just going to take a couple of deep breaths and create warmth and movement in your shoulder by doing circles. That brings synovial fluid into your joint and allows it to move much more efficiently. Do 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, whatever feels like you're kind of getting some warmth in there. Switch to the other side. I'm even getting some cracking right now, so I clearly needed to do this. And then you can do both. Hold in the tight spots and kind of give it a little bit of resistance. If you have a wall that you're working with at home, like something that gives you a corner, you can go up to the wall and place your arm here and then push into the wall and move your hand up. It works even like this, the way that I'm doing it. It's just much more effective because each time you take your hand and push into the wall, you're activating all of the chest muscles here and getting them to release a little bit around the joint. So that's another one you can do just to get some muscle activation before we start around the chest. in this workout, we're going to do the backward lunge. The backward lunge is something that, again, that's in the workout archives if you need all of the specific details. Right now, we're going to do 12 to 15 reps of it, and we're going to go into position. Your feet are just outside the, just outside of your hips. Everything's going to be nice and tall and set back. Remember, always the knee goes to the outside. This is the front knee here, and we're going to do 1, come back to center, and alternate. Our next movement, remember from A1 to A2, we're moving really quickly, no breaks at all. You're going to get into position. We're going to do a push-up. You can either use an incline or you can go from your knees. Get down onto your knees if this is the form you're doing. Hands are just outside of your shoulders, and you're going to come down as far as you can. Make sure your abs don't collapse, your hips stay up. the end of each round, make sure that you write down all of the necessary information, the amount of reps, the weights, everything that you did. Grab some water, make sure that you feel like you were doing everything right, review it quickly if you don't think that you were, and get ready and get into position for the next round. Let's move on to the B series of our workouts, and I'm feeling pretty samurai right now with my broomstick. What we're going to use it for in this particular movement is I want you to get used to the feeling of holding a wide object when you're doing your bends with weights. Last week, or in the last workout, I showed you the bottle of water, and the bottle of water is here. So when you're moving, your back doesn't get so involved in the movement. It's much more based on the hamstring and your glutes. Now, we're going to go wide, and that engages all of the upper back, and I want you to get used to that, because once you start doing this with a heavy weight, you need to be able to maintain this posture and stay in it. So again, come down, you're coming up. You're coming up without actually taking your bar off the legs, and the rest is the same in terms of the movement. So we're going to start here. You are in position, your feet are within the hips, so not here but tighter. Knees are pointing out, as always. You will hear me say that. Abs in, chest up, and heads up as long as you live, and we are hanging out together. Take the broomstick or the barbell or whatever it is that you have as wide as you can. I want you to be forced to stay in this position, and then you're coming down, 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 down. There's my hamstring, and even with no weight attached, I can still get a proper hip bend out of it. Keep those abs tucked in. So side to side twists are a ab movement. A lot of people like to do side to side bends, but I prefer that people learn how to use their body move better in a transverse plane like this, how to move weight without injuring their back. So we take our samurai stick again, and we're going to help have that kind of direct us somewhere to put our arms and such. You're going to start with your hands and your feet just outside your hips. The stick is in front of you, and you're going to use the stick to sort of guide the movement, because when you twist, and any time that you have a load, anything heavy, you should never isolate your back and twist like this. This is how people hurt themselves. If you swing through the hip with your back, you're still working your abs, but you're in no way putting your back in danger. So if you have a heavy box and you're picking it up in the middle of the day, and you're at the office, you're with your child, whatever the heck you're doing, don't pick it up and turn it over like this. Pick it up and turn. Alright, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty tired by this point. We are on to the last exercise for this day. We're going to be doing V-sits, and we'll do a modified V-sit since we're in the beginning stages of everything. And a modified V-sit looks like this. Usually in a V-sit you come up into a full V, which means both your legs are straight and your arms are straight. For the modified one, we're going to come up. You're here, fully stretched out, come up, and back down. Remember to breathe. Your breath is the most important part in an ab exercise. That's what really engages the abs. In.
That was the end of day 2 for today. Make sure you've noted everything about your workout while you still remember it. Make sure that tonight, or that you have a post-workout meal, a little bit of carbs, some protein, and that you get some rest tonight. You may need to take a day off tomorrow just to recover, and then day 3 is going to be your cardio workout. So get ready for that. Make sure you stretch and get everything loosened up, and we'll see you in a day or so.